Hello and happy Monday. My name is Michael Leeserman here with the Trial Guide's tip of the day. Our tip today comes from Bill Barton's new book, Integrated Advocacy, Getting Better, Faster, while Building a Satisfying and Sustainable Law Practice. And here to read the tip today is Bill Barton himself. Welcome, Bill.
Hey, much love to you, Michael. Nice to hear your voice and see you, my good friend. The tip is don't forfeit you and your client's credibility by trying to stretch the difference between before and after in an attempt to maximize the injuries and thus your client's damages. Instead, consider focusing on what your client has been left with, not what they lost. And that's a classic right out of Mo Levine. It isn't what they took from him, it's what they leave him with.
It's classic out of Mo Levine, and Bill, you've taken it to another level. Mo, of course, in the 50s, 60s, and 70s
Sure.
before his death, and now you, in your book, it was it psychological recovering
Yes,
for
recovering
psychological
from
injuries,
psychological injury. Thank you.
which is much more than just psychological injuries. It's a whole methodology. And you have something that I learned decades ago now, and it's writing down on a board an A and a B, and it's so simple and so powerful. Teach us this.
Yeah.
Teach us this, Flynn.
A 1 minute hit on it, Michael, as best I can.
Yeah.
Now, I actually came up with this when I was helping my 53-year-old daughter in her 8th grade math class. She was taking intro to algebra. So if you think about that, you'll see where it came from. Because you have before and after. And when you're in law school, you're taught the difference before and after. Like, let's supposing before you were on a 0 to 10. 10 is an Olympian, 0, you're dead. And most of us would be 5. So I'm going to say you're healthy at a 6. And then after an insult or a liability event, then you're a 4. So if you think about this intellectually, dollars equals 6 before minus 4. The difference is 2 caused by B. So it's actually like an 8th grade algebra formula. Dollars equals A minus C caused by B. And that's kind of where it came from, me helping her about 40 years ago with her algebra. And I want to give credit to Marvin Lewis, a name that often is forgotten. Marvin was the godfather of psychological injuries. And what he did was he actually did something very counterintuitive. And I would fly down to San Francisco and meet with Marvin. And what he did was the natural instinct is to stretch that before up as high as you can and be able to get the most math difference between a 6 minus a 4 or a 3 or a 2. What he did was he dropped the before down to a 3 or a 2. And it set it up. Now listen to this, because you won't get this on your own. It shows how fragile someone is as a pre-existing condition. And when you have so little, when you lose even a little, it means so much. When a little is all you have, it means everything. It's much like the not a parable, but the story of the widow and the mites in the New Testament, Luke 21, 1-4, the physician. And, it's a perfect, I use it respectfully and with all jurors often. And the idea is that all these rich people were lining up to give their gold and linen to this deity model. And this widow, who was very, very poor, was in line, and all she had were 2 mites, mites. And I've actually gone and bought a couple of them. They're about as big as the fingernail on your small finger. And she put those in there, and Christ turned to his apostles, and the cock had not yet crowed. I mean, he had time. He was trying to teach them. He knew he'd be leaving them soon. And he said to them, who has given more out of all the people? The rich people, the gold and their linen, or this widow? And he paused, and no one answered, and he gave them the answer. She has given more because she had so little to give. Now that's a perfect setup analytically for causation. The straw that breaks the camel's back. One person's meats, another person poisons. And it sets up the as-is instruction. So, Michael, that's kind of a top-down conceptual roadmap of the A minus C caused by B, and Mo started it. I took it with Marvin's help and refined it, but I want to give him much credit too. And thank you, Michael.
Yeah, that's so much there to think of. And I would say another part of that is for the lawyer to look at themselves and ask, why am I stretching? What is that my lack of confidence in myself? Is that my lack of confidence in the case? Because the truth should really prevail. You should feel in and also put yourself in the position of your client. So you're right. What you might think is a 4 is really is a 3 or a 2. So as soon as we stretch, we lose credibility. And I really appreciate just the simplicity of what you're saying. Think of the difference. It's a math problem. It's very simple.
Well, I'd like to actually supplement it with 2 addendums to show you how far I've taken this analytically, and I actually do this for a jury. I had some clients in suicide cases that had attempted suicide before. And I actually thought to myself, should I put them at a -1?
Huh.
I mean, they failed, and it was very, very interesting. And here's how I framed it. I said, before, death was often a preferred choice. The difference between this liability event and what's before and after is they lost hope. It really was. And what is hope worth? You'll tell us with your verdict.
Wow.
And you change it from the more mundane. Now, that's one point. Number 2, the second point I want to make is Rick Friedman in his book, Polarizing the Case, talks about the importance of that. Now, there's 2 parts to this. The first part deals with our good citizenship. So we're in a position to call the other side out. You can't get in a mud fight with a pig and win. So you've got to be on the high moral ground. And when the other side overstates something with an inference or suggestion, and maybe you or your client are exaggerating, that must be a fight you can win. And you can't do that when you're out stretching things. You're setting it up for this kind of an argument. You create it, you co-author it with your enthusiasm and misplaced patriotism.
Wow. Great tips for today. And I can only say, may we all go into today with the enthusiasm and passion that you have, Bill. I love it. It's contagious. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. Much love to you, my good friend.
Let's take a deep breath together now and be grateful to be alive this Monday. May the work we do today help remind us that as much as ever, it's important that we turn to law in our society as a unifying and guiding force. May the work that we do today help to reduce suffering in the world. May it repair the world. May we fiercely and compassionately advocate for our clients. I'm going to ring a bell 3 times now. This can take you into a meditation practice, a prayer practice, or just remind you it's Monday. Wake up, go out, do good things, and have fun while you're doing it.